Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, so we're focusing on Leo, which is the king of kindness. And tonight's call, we're going to work on harmonizing, as in relaxing, getting into the flow, letting our body, mind, and energy flow. And we're going to use the invitation of the Leo energies, which include kindness, playfulness, creativity. We're going to give some examples of how we can embody those energies. And we're going to do a beautiful heart harmonizing heart lock-in exercise. Oh, that's what's happening. I'm pressing mute and unmute instead of pressing over here, which advances the slide. Okay, so I always like to begin with some heart-focused breathing from Heart Math. And tonight I'd like to invite you to focus on the regenerative feeling of kindness. I have a quote here from Syed Balki, who's the founder of WordPress Beginner. Well, if you want an example of kindness in the corporate world, you can't deny WordPress for their generosity and their kindness. WordPress is something called open source software, which means it's free and it can be modified. And 40% of all websites on the internet use WordPress. Those people are incredibly kind and generous. And as a side note, there are WordPress meetup groups. I had the pleasure of connecting with one a few months ago, and they answered all my questions and made all these updates to my website. And it was a meetup group. They didn't charge anything. So that's a beautiful definition of kindness, or a beautiful example of kindness. And I love this quote because Syed turns riches and success and wealth and being cool, kind of turns them upside down. So here's his quote. Happiness is the new rich. Inner peace is the new success. Health is the new wealth. Kindness is the new cool. So who wouldn't love those things? So I'm going to invite you now. I'm going to walk you through the heart-focused and coherent exercise. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you like, keep them open if you want, but place your hand on your heart or just gently tap your heart. And bring your awareness to your heart and your breath. And imagine your breath flowing in and out of your heart, allowing them to flow a little more deeply, a little more slowly, and just finding a nice, gentle rhythm. And then I'm going to invite you to activate the feeling of kindness. Think of someone who's been kind to you recently, or think of someone you've been kind to. And then change that mental thought to a feeling. What is being kind, feeling kindness? How does that feel in your body? Allow your body to feel some kindness as I reread this quote to you. Happiness is the new rich. Inner peace is the new success. Health is the new wealth. Kindness is the new cool. Okay, so in case you can't read it, that little mug, that coffee mug says, "What good shall I do this day?" So what a beautiful way to start the day. What good or what kindness shall I do this day? So we're going to talk about the astrology of Leo. And there's our little lion, the fierceness of a lion. The lion is the king. So just a little astrology. So Leo runs this year from July 22nd, which is tomorrow, through August 22nd. And every astrological sign has a planetary ruler. The planetary ruler for Leo is the sun. And I like to think of the 10 planets that are the primary planets we use in astrology, which includes the sun and the moon, even though technically they aren't planets, they're luminaries. But these 10 planets, I like to think of them as our 10 superpowers. And each planet has an energy that helps us. And each planet acts differently when it's in a different sign. So the sun acts a different way when it's in Leo versus, actually today it's in Cancer, tomorrow it'll be in Leo, on August 22nd, it'll move into Virgo. So when the planet, it's almost like the costume it wears. So what is the sun like when it's in Leo? Well, it's fixed and it's fiery. What do I mean by fixed? So Leo, the astrological sign of Leo, is in the middle of the summer season. The first sign of summer is Cancer. The second sign is Leo. And we end the summer season with Virgo when we transfer into or start to change into fall. But Leo is fixed. Leo is as summery as it can get. So, and the element is fire. Leo is fire. So some examples of what the energy of Leo is like. Excuse me. Leo is adamant, as demonstrated by our little lion king here. Excuse me. Leo is adamant, it can be impulsive, and it's always emphatic. Leos are often leaders, and Leos want to leave something behind because they're in that fixed element. They like to build things, and they want something that's going to be sustainable. So they want to create something that's going to last. So Leo is also creative and playful, and the energy can flow through us when we're in Leo. So I thought Dr. Seuss was a fun image. We've got a little Dr. Seuss king here demonstrating the energies of being playful, and how creative was Dr. Seuss in his writing. So I think a fun thing to do if you have any Dr. Seuss books would be to read them. I bet you'd get a really big kick out of reading them. Children's books can be really fun and inviting. And the other thing that Leo, if you think about the king, because Leo is also the king or queen, the king shines their light to nourish others. So this is a pretty magnanimous king, when the good king, when it's not about having all the attention being on us, but it's using our light to shine it on others and nourish others. So let's talk a little bit about how we can practically practice the Leo energy. So Leo rules the heart. So we've been talking a little bit about heart math and heart intelligence. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next couple of slides. But here are some practices during the time of Leo, and that's spending time outside in nature under the sun. Perfect time to go to the beach, right? Under the Leo sun. So it's also being creative and playful. I have a friend, my high school friend since high school, my best friend. She had a way of running her household. She raised 2 children, had a husband, but everything she did, when you'd go over to her house and you'd do something, she just had this way of, it seemed like she was playing house rather than really being a mom. So if you can really be a mom, but make it look like you're having fun and you're just playing house, that's a way to be creative and playful. So we did the next one earlier. We tapped the heart, just bringing your awareness to your heart. helps activate the heart. And then wearing colors or enhancing your space with these colors like gold, the royal blues, all the jewel tones. So those are some very simple ways to celebrate the Leo energies. So let's talk about kindness. Kindness is something that I think we forget. I think it can be simple, but I think we can forget about it. We can forget to be kind. It's easy not to be kind sometimes. And when we use our heart's intelligence, I think it's easier to be kind. So what's the definition of kindness? Kindness is a state of being kind. I love it when we talk about the state of being. So it's not the state of doing, it's the state of being. So it highlights that the kindness comes from within us. And kindness is having or showing a warm-hearted nature. So I would like to suggest that we can help dissolve some of the separation that we might be feeling in our world, in our country. We can dissolve it through kindness. And this idea comes from HeartMath. HeartMath is an organization that I'm connected with, and on a quarterly basis, they have something called a care focus. And this quarter's care focus is exactly that, about dissolving separation. And there are so many places where we have separation. Probably the biggest is vaccinated versus unvaccinated, and how each person might have a really strong opinion on why one is better than the other. And sometimes it's hard to be kind to those that share different opinions than us. But if we want to remember our oneness, our connectedness, if we want to heal, we need to start dissolving the separation. So be kind. So we can't say this enough, right? If you want something from someone else or for someone else or with others, you have to start with yourself. You have to put that oxygen mask on yourself first. So start by being kinder to yourself. Think about that. Are you kind to yourself? Could you be kinder? I think we can always be kinder. Then we think about others. So I think it's our human nature, sad as it sounds, that we kind of, when we meet somebody, maybe it's unconscious, but we might have an idea of they are either less fortunate than us or more fortunate than us. And sometimes maybe it's easier to be kind to those that are less fortunate. Well, how about practicing being kind to those that are more fortunate? Those that might be something that might have something that we might want, that we might be a little envious of or resentful of. Once we can celebrate their successes and be kind to them, we're sending a message to our subconscious. We're letting our subconscious know that that's a good thing. And then the subconscious brings us more, as opposed to withholding that kindness just because somebody drives a nicer car than us or makes more money than us or something like that. Again, if we go back to the opening quote about the new riches, happiness is the new rich and health is the new wealth, then less fortunate, more fortunate, it's all a matter of perspective. The other time I think it's really challenging to be kind to others is when they have a different viewpoint or perspective from us. For example, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. This is a topic that is challenging families, is creating can create some hard feelings, but maybe just genuinely people just have their opinions. Can we still be kind? Can we still respect their opinions, all the while remembering how we need to be kind to ourselves first? And maybe that involves setting some boundaries. So those are some things to think about. So I have some questions here to think about. And when I finish this, these are the ones I'd like to maybe have a discussion with you if you're open to that. So what Leo qualities would you like to embody? So we talked about playfulness, creativity, kindness, also wisdom, right? Wisdom is a wonderful quality. So here's another question. When do you find it hard to be kind? And would any of those Leo qualities help you? Maybe trying to be a little more lighter and playful about certain subjects, or not taking things so personally. Going back to the astrology, I happen to have a fixed, be in one of those fixed signs. My sun sign is Aquarius, which is in the dead of winter. The fixed signs, which are those astrological signs in the middle of the season. So for spring, it's Taurus. For summer, it's Leo. The fall is Scorpio, and winter is Aquarius. It's kind of thought that those signs can take things a little more personally. So that's another way to try and be kind. If you find yourself, if you have one of those signs or know someone that has one of those signs, I think it's hard to know if you're taking something personally because that's all you know. But if you think of maybe other people, like, gee, they seem a little sensitive, or they are taking something personally, I think it's a nice question to ask yourself. Am I being a little oversensitive? Am I taking this too personally? And how can you be kinder to yourself and maybe not take things so personally? And the last question I have here is, how can we find new ways to be kind that might help to dissolve separations? So that's probably a great question to meditate on. And the little picture here says, if you can read it, it says, you can do the hard things. So you can be kind even when it's hard. Okay, so now I'm just going to take us through a nice heart lock-in. And I'm going to invite you to see the world through kindness glasses. And we're going to focus on kindness for our heart lock-in and this idea of dissolving separation. So again, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you like. Place your hand on your heart. And we'll begin by bringing our awareness to the heart and to our breath, allowing our breath to get a little slower and a little deeper, finding an easy rhythm that's comfortable, and activating a regenerative feeling such as kindness. Allowing ourselves to feel that kindness, feel it throughout our whole body. Imagine yourself feeling kindness. Go beyond the mental process of thinking kindness and feel it in your body. And as you feel that kindness, start to radiate kindness first to yourself. Just imagine kindness at the center of your being, kind of radiating like a sun. Let your body bask in kindness. And then I invite you to share that kindness with all the people on this call, whether you know them or not. I just invite you to share kindness with those listening now and those that will be listening to the recording. The quantum field is now available to us, so those listening to the recording are here now with us. So we radiate that kindness to each other. And we create this kindness radiation. And then together we have this big ball of kindness energy. So I invite you to think of somebody specific that you would like to radiate it to. Maybe somebody that you know is going through some challenging times. Maybe somebody that you know that could really use some kindness. So let's send that kindness. Let that flow, let that radiate. And now let's all pick somebody that maybe we do feel separate from, maybe somebody that does share a different point of view than us. Pick someone or a group of people and radiate some kindness to that other perspective. And just picture the energy of kindness, the frequency of kindness just radiating out from all of our hearts into the ethers, into our world, into the universe, into all of the universes. We just send out kindness. And see that dissolution of separations. We see our oneness through kindness. We put on our kindness glasses, celebrate our oneness. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we're going to close out the call, just reminding you to sync up with the life your heart desires. Because after all, life is too short not to love the one you're living. And again, there's our contact information. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. And thank you so much for your attention and for watching, for celebrating the Leo energies of kindness with me. Our next call will be on Wednesday, August 18th. And I look forward to seeing you then and hopefully before. So thank you. And I am going to stop the recording.